Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. I am Carolee and I am glad that you are tuning in today. What are you up to today? Where are you listening from? Usually I listen to podcasts when I am on the plane or in the car or when I'm out walking, which I must admit I haven't been doing much of lately through these winter months. But hopefully now that it's summer, I will get back into that. Today, I'm going to dive into one of my favorite tools for law firm owners, which is the Law Firm Roadmap. So the Law Firm Roadmap is a framework that lays out exactly what it takes to grow your firm, right from startup through to real success. And the most important thing is that it does this without burnout. It lays out exactly the steps that you need to be taking. I feel like one of the things that's the hardest about growing a law firm is not knowing what the next right thing to do is. And sometimes we launch into what we think is the next right thing, but it's not, and it might even set us back, which is really frustrating. So this roadmap helps us to know what the next right thing is. So whether you're just starting out or whether you're managing a multi-million-dollar practice, the roadmap shows you the stages of growth and the systems that you need to put in place at each point. So let's talk about why this roadmap matters. Well, running a law firm without direction really can feel like trying to drive across the country, and Australia is real big, without a GPS. You might eventually get there, but you're definitely going to take some wrong turns and it's going to be slower and way more stressful than you imagined. I don't know if you've ever driven across Australia. I haven't, but I do know that there are spots where you really have to plan out even where the petrol stations are, for example, because otherwise you're going to run out of gas. So we don't want you to run out of gas in your law firm or take the wrong turn. The idea here is that this roadmap gives you loads of clarity so that you know exactly what to do next. So it's broken down into 5 different growth stages. So the first growth stage is startup, which is from $0 when you start with nothing to 300,000 turnover a year. Then we step into the survival mode, which is 300 to 700. Now this is where you might be thinking about your first employee. Then you get into stability, which is 700 to 1.2. This is definitely a better stage to be in. And then you get to scale. So you're really starting to leverage a team and scale your law firm from 1.2 to 2.5 million. And then after that, we're really hitting our stride at success. So things just get a whole lot easier when we're up in the 2.5 to $5 million zone in your law firm. So each stage definitely comes with different challenges, different opportunities, and different priorities for your systems, team, and strategy. Over the years of growing my law firm, there were definitely stages that were more difficult and trickier than others. But then as you grow, you do end up with different challenges, but also different opportunities as well. So let's get into the 5 pillars of growth. So we've talked already about the 5 stages of your firm. Okay, so now that you understand the stages, let's talk about the 5 pillars of growth. So the roadmap is built around these 5 pillars, and I'm going to break them down for you. So the first pillar is attracting clients. So this is how you bring in steady and quality work. So amazing leads that can really help move your business forward. So this pillar includes marketing, branding, optimizing ads, having clear offers, and as we grow our firm, implementing strategies like signature events and internal marketing teams, which can really be helpful as your firm gets bigger. The next pillar of growth is knowing your numbers and pricing. So getting your pricing model right, tracking your cash flow, understanding break even, and building profit centers and scenario planning into your law firm. This is so important. And unfortunately, so many of us don't know our numbers. The next pillar is systems and processes. If you've listened to my podcast, you know that I talk about this a lot. So starting with your basic systems, operations and procedures and checklists, and growing into a full workflow automation, KPI dashboards, tech integrations, and AI. Next pillar is so important, and this is your team and people. If you are a law firm and you want to grow, you absolutely need team and people. So this is working with VAs and outsourced receptions right down in those early days to building a team of associates, senior associates, and a practice manager, and eventually having an executive leadership team, and really mapping out who you need in your firm and at what stage you might need them. And then finally, what do we do in law firms? We deliver legal service. So the next pillar is legal service delivery. So how our firm actually delivers its services and impacts and helps its clients. So first of all, when we're starting out, this starts with a very personalized service and a few precedents. And then it develops as your firm grows into mapped client journeys, workflow automation, and service excellence training so that your team delivers your legal service exactly the way that you want them to. This is so important. So now that we've got a really good understanding of the stages of the firm and the 5 pillars of growth, let's have a look at what the roadmap actually looks like in practice. So the first stage that we talked about is your startup stage, which is 0 to 30K. Now, this is totally manageable, usually on your own as a solo practitioner, but it does get very intense as you get closer to that $300,000 turnover because you're the only one who's doing all the things, delivering legal service, as well as managing the firm, as well as running the accounts, as well as the marketing, as well as operations. So it is a busy stage as your business grows. And at this stage, it's really about building your foundation. So attracting your first clients, establishing your clear core offer, which I really feel like needs a lot of work for some law firm owners. They try and just spray everything out there and hope that they get work. But if you actually niche into your clear core offer, it's really going to help you to grow your firm. Having a website with basic SEO and then starting to track your numbers is so important as well. You're still very hands-on, but you're laying the groundwork for the growth of your law firm. Now, how long should you stay in the stage? Well, it's entirely up to you. Some people skip past the stage very, very quickly because they implement all of the tools and tactics really quickly and they are off and racing and well past the stage inside 12 months. That is absolutely possible. And I would encourage you to get past the stage as quickly as possible, unless, of course, you want to stay a solo. If you want to stay a solo, then that is totally fine. And just making sure that you have everything as streamlined as possible. So it's easier to be a solo without growing a team. Now, the next stage is survival. So you're between 300 and 700K. And you are busy. You might even be slightly overwhelmed, or maybe not slightly, very overwhelmed. A lot of law firm owners that I speak to who are in this zone are very overwhelmed, and I was exactly the same when my firm was at this stage. At this stage, you need better systems. You need systems for intaking, task tracking. You need clear pricing models, and you definitely need to have some basic systems and processes in place. At this stage as well, you are starting to onboard your first team members. You might have even grown a small team of, 3 or 4 people, and you're really starting to step up into leadership. So it is a really challenging time in your law firm, but it's a really fun time as well. The next stage is stability. We're moving into between 700 and 1.2 in revenue. And here the firm is starting to feel a little more structured. It's not completely reliant on you, although it is still in its infancy stage where you are needing to do a lot. You have a team of full-time lawyers. You're doing performance reviews. You're doing leadership training, hopefully. And you are automating a lot of your work that needs to be done in the firm. Hopefully you have someone doing accounts and you're not doing them yourself, but often law firm owners are still doing that themselves. And as a law firm owner, you should be starting to focus on advanced reporting, cash flow tracking, and consistent service delivery in the firm. Now, next it starts getting even more exciting where we're leveling up to scale. 1.2 to 2.5 is the level here of revenue. And at this stage, you're no longer just managing cases, you are managing a business and a team. You should have a data dashboard, you should have a practice manager, you should have made sure that there's plenty of stuff automated, systems and processes in place, and making sure that your marketing is highly optimized and runs without you. At this stage, you cannot rely on referrals. You definitely need more in place than referrals. Hopefully, you have got a fully optimized appointment engine so that you've got amazing quality appointments coming in for you ready to convert. And even at this stage, you might have someone else doing the converting for you. I recommend that that would be the case. Then we are leveling up into success, which is 2.5 to 5 million. This is where the firm is truly operating more like a business, and hopefully as the law firm owner, you are up leveling into the CEO position. You have an executive team, so a leadership team. You're not leading everyone. You would be broken by now. You have a leadership team, you have a few reports, and the rest of the team is reporting to other people in the firm. Hopefully you've got succession planning in place. You are fully AI integrated. You have a full library of systems and processes on how to run every seat in your law firm, scenario planning, and the culture is in a continuous improvement mode. You are now also mapping out client journeys and service success and excellence. And at this stage, that is a non-negotiable. Otherwise, you would simply be putting out too many fires. Because remember, at this stage, there is a lot more client interaction and a lot more happening in the firm. And it's hopefully moved away from you. And you need this to be working like a well-oiled machine. Otherwise, you're constantly going to be pulled back in to the drama and the fires, which we absolutely don't want. So that is where it's at. And that sounds really exciting, doesn't it? As you step through those stages and what you need to be building out and planning. So the key message here is that you don't need to jump ahead. You need to really focus on what's right for the stage where you're at right now. A startup doesn't need a full data dashboard, and a $3 million firm shouldn't be running out of your head. You should definitely have those dashboards up and running. So when you know your stage, you can concentrate on the systems, the people, the strategies, and making a huge impact on your clients. Because ultimately, as lawyers, that's what we love to do. We love to help our clients. So if today's episode has been interesting to you and it's given you some clarity on where your firm sits on the roadmap, that's the first step. And the next step would be to download the roadmap. It's free. I'm just going to leave a link here underneath the podcast. You can download the roadmap and you can see for yourself what stage you're at and what you need to implement in those 5 pillars so that you can move nicely up into the next level of where you want to go. So at Scalable Law, what we do is we help law firm owners implement the roadmap from startup right through to success. So if you'd like to explore more of how that might apply to you, you can absolutely jump on a call with one of my team and we will talk to you about your stage and what the next growth stage might be for you, what you need to implement. And you can walk away with a bit of a plan, which is really awesome. I'll leave the links there for you so that you can book a call if you want to. Also, I just wanted to say I was recently at ALTMA last week, which is a conference in Sydney, and it was awesome connecting with so many people who are tuning in to the podcast. So if that was you, hi, it was great to meet you at ALTMA. And great to have you tuning in. It's really nice knowing that I'm not just talking into a microphone and that there are actual real people out there listening to the podcast. So I'm looking forward to the week ahead and I hope you are too. So that's all we have for today. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.